Hello students, our topic for today's course on PME 222 is Python programming. Python programming. The lesson objectives are to introduce Python programming language, explain Python indentation, explain and list Python keywords, explain Python variables, describe the various types of Python data types. So Python is a high-level object-oriented programming language, and there are basically two versions of Python, Python 2 and Python 3. Python 2 and Python 3 are quite different in terms of how their commands are used. For example, when you use the print command in Python 2, it's not accompanied with a parenthesis. It just has the inverted quotation marks. But for Python 3, you must put the parenthesis when you write the print command. There are other differences between Python 2 and Python 3. You can find them online in a lot of online resources. You can find those differences. Now let's talk about the Python integrated development environment. Integrated development environments are powerful tools that help developers to write their programs in Python programming language. They quite make it easier for the programmer to write those programs. Some of the most popular Python integrated development environment platforms include PyCharm, we have Jupyter Notebook, we have Spider, we have Visual Studio Code, we have IDLE, we have Google Colab. So any of these IDEs, when you install them on your computer, you can use them to write your Python program. I preferably use a Spider most often, or the Jupyter Notebook. So now let's look at Python indentation. Indentation refers to the spaces at the beginning of a code line. When you write a code, normally there are spaces that you often give at the beginning of that line. So when in other programming language indentation in code is for readability only, the indentation in Python is very, very important. The indentation in Python is very, very important because if you don't get the indentation right, your code will not run. So Python uses indentation to indicate a block of code. The code below is an example of the indentation in Python. Look at the code. This code you have written. You can see the def command. The def command is a keyword in Python that is used to create a function. So def BME student in bracket name of students colon. Then when you press your enter key, the cursor moves to this point just below your PME name. So you can see the indentation. If you decide to move the cursor closer, you will realize that you will get an error. So make sure that when you write your code, you are careful to maintain the right indentation. That is the right spaces. For this command, for instance, this line is indented with 4 spaces, meaning that you press your space bar 4 times. That is simply what it means. Now let's talk about the print command. The print command is one of the simplest commands in Python. The print command it normally comes with your parentheses. Function prints the specific message on the screen. So when you just write print, put your parentheses and inverted commas, biomedical engineering, and you run the code, it will just print biomedical engineering. So the print command is quite very useful in displaying the output of your code. So once you just write print that particular whatever you want to print, you have it printed by just typing the print command with the inverted commas and the parentheses. We also have a situation in which if you have assigned a variable to the print command and you write print and you put the parentheses, you put the name of the variable, you don't need to put the inverted commas when you are writing the name of a variable in that parentheses. Python has no particular command for creating a variable. By just assigning a value to a variable, you have created a variable in Python. It is quite different from creating a variable in other programming languages like Java, where you need to first of all create the variable before using it. So take for example, here we have x is equal to 7. We have created the variable x. So the value of x is what? 7. Y is equal to inverted comma University of Lagos. You have created a variable y. To find out what you have in the variable x, when you type print x, it will give you 7 as the answer. When you type print y in brackets, it will give you University of Lagos. Python keywords. Python keywords are reserved words. They are commands that are often used in Python. And they cannot be constant values or anything, but they have to be a name, usually with an identifier. So all the Python keywords contain lowercase letters. Note that they should be lowercase letters, not some of the uppercase I have here, meaning that they should be written in small letters because Python is a case-sensitive programming language. Your commands, your keywords should all be in small letters. So here are some of the keywords: and, as, assert, break, class, continue, def, del, elif, else, except. These are just the keywords in Python. You can see them: false, finally, for, and the rest of them. The basic data types in Python. We have various data types. The type of data that is often used in programming data in Python. The first one we are looking at is integers. Integers, this value is represented by the int class. Usually integers are represented by the int class. They are usually whole numbers. They contain positive or negative whole numbers. So in Python, there is no limit to how long an integer value can be. There is no limit to how long an integer value can be. Then floats. Float data type is used to represent floating point numbers. Usually, floating point numbers are numbers that have decimal points. Floating point numbers are numbers that have decimal points. Examples include 2.1, 5.2, 10.7, and the rest of them. Usually, assigning floating point numbers to variables, we just have, for example, a is equal to 3.14. That is a typical floating point number that has been assigned to a variable a. When we print a, it will give us 3.14. The next is complex numbers. A complex number is represented by a complex class, usually having the real and the imaginary parts. For example, we have -2 plus 3j. That is a typical example of a complex number, and it's also used in Python. Then we have strings. A string is a collection of one or more characters that are put in a single quote or double quotes or even triple quotes. In Python, there is no character data type. A character is a string of length 1. What we are saying is that in Python, a string can be a single character or a combination of characters. It is usually represented by the string str class. If you want to create a string, a variable as a string, strings in Python can be created using single quotes or double quotes. For example, X is equal to biomedical engineering. You can see that it has these double quotes. Biomedical engineering is in a double quote because it consists of a set of characters. So that is what we call a string. So you must put the inverted quotation marks when you are writing a string in Python. Then we have the tuples. A tuple is an ordered collection of Python objects. A tuple is an ordered collection of Python objects. The difference between tuples and lists is that tuples are immutable. This means that tuples cannot be modified after it is created. They are permanent. Tuples are represented by the tuple class. You want to create tuples. Tuples are created by placing a sequence of values separated by comma, with or without the use of parentheses for grouping of the data sequence. For example, here is a tuple. My underscore tuple is equal to 1, 2, 3 inside a parenthesis. This is a tuple. When we say print my tuple, it will print the output 1, 2, 3. Usually a tuple, creating an empty tuple. This is a tuple. If you want to create an empty tuple that does not have values inside, the first one, tuple 1, is an empty tuple. When you type print empty tuple, it will print empty. If you want to create tuple with different types of data types, you can have them inside one tuple. Here we have physics, chemistry, 2017, 2020. You can have different types of data types in a tuple. You should also know that, as I said, tuples are immutable. They don't change. Now let's look at Boolean. Boolean is a data type with one of the two built-in values, either true or false. Boolean objects that are used to true are truthy or true, and those equal to false are false. But non-Boolean objects can be evaluated in Boolean context, as well as determined to be true or false. It is denoted by the class bool. Examples of Boolean objects are A is equal to 54, B is equal to 25, A is greater than 40, and B is greater than 40. Is it true? We know that A is 54. Is 54 greater than 40? Yes, it's true. But is B greater than 40? No, it's false. So A is greater than 40. B is not greater than 40. So A and B cannot be greater than 40. So the outcome is false. Now let's look at sets. In Python, Set is an unordered collection of data type that is iterable, mutable, and has no duplicate element. So a set is mutable, unlike tuples that are immutable. The order of elements in a set is undefined, though it may consist of various elements. Creating sets. Sets can be created by using the built-in set function with an iterable object or sequence by placing the sequence inside curly braces. Then we now have dictionary. Each key is separated from its value in a dictionary by a colon. The items are separated by commas, and the whole thing is enclosed in a curly braces. This is how a curly brace looks like, and that is what is used in dictionary. Dictionary uses a curly brace. List uses a square bracket, while tuples use parentheses. So keys are unique within a dictionary, while values may not be. The value of a dictionary can be of any type, but the keys must be of an immutable data type, such as strings, numbers, or tuples. Here is a typical example of a dictionary. A dictionary, our dict, is equal to, you have string, brand. What is the name of the brand? HP. What is the type of the brand? It's a printer. What's the year? 1998. We can see that this dictionary has values, a string assigned to the brand, a printer assigned to the type, and an integer assigned to the year. So X is equal to our dict. Then you now put the type to indicate the value. Conclusion: in this lecture, we have introduced Python programming language and its basic features and commands. Important features, including variables and data types, have been discussed extensively.